New year, healthy goals. So what's for dinner tonight? Hatfield marinated pork tenderloins, of course. Packed with protein and oven ready in about 35 minutes. Hatfield makes fresh starts easy. To find retailers near you, visit simplyhatfield.com. Hatfield, better care, better pork.
Hi, it's Daniel from John Buys Bay Area Houses. We hear from homeowners every day who need to sell fast, whether it's a life change, a problem property, or they just can't wait around.
After my divorce, the house felt too big, and I wanted to downsize.
I needed to relocate for a new job, but my house was holding me back.
At John Buys Bay Area Houses, we make selling your house simple. Sell as is without any fees, commissions, or hassles. Just call 510-800-JOHN or visit our website and you'll get a fair cash offer in minutes.
I found the perfect smaller home. It's a huge relief.
They took care of everything, and I could move on time.
Start fresh. Don't let your house hold you back. Call 510-800-JOHN or search online for John Buys Bay Area Houses to get your cash offer today. That's 510-800-JOHN.
Start fresh with John Buys Bay Area Houses.
The San Francisco Symphony brings Beethoven's iconic Fifth Symphony to life in an electrifying concert that also features Shostakovich's playful piano concerto No. 1. Hear internationally acclaimed pianist Sung-Jin Cho join forces with SS Symphony principal trumpet Mark Inouye for this bold, high-energy program. Don't miss the San Francisco Symphony perform Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, January 22nd through 24th. Tickets at sfsymphony.org.
It's a new era, bitches. It was the third time this week some drunk white girl had prefaced her drunken rendition of a Taylor Swift song by drunkenly announcing this was a new era. Apparently, the cosmic waves had turned moronic, astrologically connecting these WASP women in all of their 3 too many martinis glory. The worst part? I loved Taylor, and she was being murdered spiritually, one drunk karaoke song at a time, in a place I called work. I was in with Taylor since the beginning, before she took over the world, and then the NFL. I was a Swiftie. Of course, I couldn't say this out loud without sounding like every other woman between the age of 10 and 50, but I was. Each new album, each new song, each new lyric, they would linger in my head for days, sometimes weeks. I would sing them between my ears anytime my mouth was closed. She had captured something within my soul in a way no other artist ever had. It didn't hurt that we had the exact same birthday, a fact I would only allow men who had been inside of me on at least 20 occasions to be privy of. But this was 2024, not 2014. And by now we were living in some sort of invasion of the Taylor Swifters reality, where everyone felt like they had to be 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon connected to Taylor. My girlfriend loves Taylor. This was man code for, I love Taylor, but I can't confess this. Otherwise, I may be seen as feminine and my man card will be promptly tossed into the shredders at the toxic headquarters. Even my dad had sent me a text recently that he started listening to the podcast hosted by Travis Kelce and his brother Jason. Travis had been recently linked to Taylor in the sexual way and had become the most famous athlete in the United States because of it. Words of wisdom, people. If you love music, I mean really love it, don't work at a karaoke club. The majesty of songs getting stuck in your head come obliterated pretty quickly. It was Sam's birthday. I knew this because dope number 1, currently belting out Is It Over Now, was wearing a Sam's Birthday Bash t-shirt featuring the aforementioned Sam, a white girl in her upper 20s at her most unappealing. A close-up on her drunken, makeup and lipstick-smeared face, no doubt the result of another wild night out with the gal pals. It was the same exact white t-shirt with a poorly designed box in the middle of it containing Birthday Bash Sam's face that all the other dopes in the room were wearing. As painful as it was to admit, dope number 1 was a pretty decent singer. There wasn't a doubt in my mind she had been prepping for this moment. This was no longer about Sam or her birthday bash. This was about Taylor motherfucking Swift, y'all. Thursday nights were big in the summer. It was a massive pissing contest to see which working stiff had the balls to stay out the latest on a weeknight. Who dared to show up to their job with the meanest hangover? The answer, 9 times out of 10, was a finance bro. Nothing puts a bigger tent in the pants of a finance bro quicker than the idea of walking towards their cubicle on a Friday morning wearing sunglasses to cover their bloodshot eyes. It was their Viagra. Viagra? That's pretty good. Write that down before you get in her. Mandy, go for San Diego. Mandy, go for San Diego. Go for Mandy to San Diego. Ace changed all of the room numbers to actual locations. People love that shit, he said in his almost cartoonishly New York accent. He was not wrong. People did love it. It was easier to remember which room they had been to if it had an actual name instead of just a number. It made the place feel more intimate. Like fucking someone you actually liked, Ace told us on more than one occasion. Anything Ace said involving his sex life was usually followed by some act of political correctness, wherein he would emphasize he talks to girls the same way he talks to guys. So if you're offended, blame his parents who raised him.
I loved Ace's mother.
She would show up every couple of Sundays with enough baked ziti to feed Sweden and then ask each of the hostesses if and who they were dating. She was the Italian Joan Rivers every non-Italian girl wanted in their lives. Oh, and yes, his actual name was Ace. He had a copy of his passport hanging in his office just to prove it because nobody would believe him. I can prove it, he'd tell some aspiring model in our club and then take her back to his office for verification and 3 rails of cocaine, which occasionally led to another kind of railing that Ace continuously strived for. He was 45 with the fashion instincts of a Persian prince. Whether or not you bought his act, you couldn't help but admire his energy. He had 3 peps for every step, and he truly loved his club. God bless Ace for letting me go to a different room. I had gotten my fill of Taylor renditions, good or mostly bad, and was ready for anything else. Except, of course, a bachelor party hosted by, you guessed it, finance bros. What's your name, sweetie? Sweetie. These erectile dysfunction dopes were never more than 5 years older than me, yet they relished in the idea of calling me sweetie. You should have seen the fake smile I unleashed tonight when he said it. Meryl Streep would be shaking in her Oscar-winning boots. You guys need another round of bottles? Only if you sing with me. I need a duet partner. This was another popular opener from Fi Guys. Even meth heads like these had to have some semblance of awareness that they all dressed and acted exactly the same. As if they ran one of them under a copy machine and printed a baker's dozen of douches. I wish. We're packed tonight. You guys having a good time? Knowing exactly how far to bend over so the exact amount of cleavage was exposed was an art form I was continuously perfecting. I had to give them enough to make them think they had a chance, while simultaneously remaining classy and out of their respective leagues. In this particular moment, I had bent down too far, sending potential signals that made me nauseous, yet my brilliant improvisational skills had allowed me the rapid reflex of quickly crossing my right hand across my chest to scratch my imaginary left shoulder itch. 2 rounds, sweetie. Never underestimate the majestic purchasing power of cleavage. 1 bottle was recommended for a group of 3 people. Each bottle was $125. The Fi Guy group was 11, 4 bottles, times 2. Let the dick pissing commence. Don't you want to fuck one just to know how bad it is? This was Romeo's question every other month. enabling me to succumb to the lack of whimsy exuded by finance bros for a no doubt unfulfilling bang. I loved Romeo. He was gay, beautiful, and our newest host. Ace never had Romeo serve straight guys for obviously yet depressingly smart reasons. Women loved Romeo. Gay men loved Romeo. Secretly gay finance bros loved Romeo. He was my post-work breakfast buddy, since we normally got off work around 3 a.m. You've told me how bad it is, Romeo. Mandy, it's so bad. It's like if Cloverfield were a sexual experience. Watching Cloverfield and having sex with a Fi Guy. Romeo's two biggest dreams for me that I was dashing on a routine basis. Mandy, go for Berlin. Mandy, go for Berlin. Go for Mandy to Berlin. Take off the headset and have a drink, sweetie. Ace works you too hard. Fi Guy number 5 was wrong. Making $1,500 per week for 3 nights' work was not too hard, especially when it's all in cash and allows me more than enough time the rest of the week to properly procrastinate instead of pursuing what normal people would classify as a career. I hate to say it, but I was damn good at this job. I would get people amped up. Whether you walked in lit or dry, I would get you high on something. I had developed some superior social skills. Everyone had a tick, and I knew which buttons to press to make sure you had a good time. I was like a stripper with all her clothes on. I wish we're packed tonight. You guys having a good time? You said that already. It's true. Fuck. I was fried. There are few things more humbling than a finance bro making you feel shot. I felt a pinch. Fi Guy number 5 was smiling as he took his hand away from my ass.
You caught me,
he said, smiling, as I contemplated what his head would look like if I dropped acid onto it. Don't do that, I scolded. He raised his arms up higher, sarcastically smiling. I'm sorry, baby, he said, while sticking his legs up into the air. This wasn't the first time Fi Guy number 5 had been inappropriate. He had been here a couple weeks ago. I remembered the face. I always remember an asshole. He looked like if Josh Brolin was squeezing his cheeks together and had never gotten sober. I'm not kidding. Do not do that again. Only if you ask, he said, while sipping his cocktail and raising his eyebrows suggestively. I walked out in shame. I could have him thrown out, but he'll give me a big tip, just like he did a couple weeks ago, hoping the tip will somehow seduce me. It won't. Not for that piece of shit. Berlin was our craziest room. Ace had his friend Tang design the interior. Tang was an architect who got his master's from Yale and was now running
a successful architecture business in Brooklyn.
It was killer. The illuminating pink walls made you feel like you had entered a womb. Those were Ace's words that shockingly felt accurate. It was trippy even when sober. If Ace wanted to impress new clientele, he brought them to Berlin. Every room had a different vibe that was supposed to be distinct, connecting to its namesake. Berlin is bananas, Ace told us. He recounted a couple stories that involved a litany of vices before crowning it the artistic party capital of the world. It had really done a number on the Persian prince. He spent a sizable chunk of his salary investing in the creative vision of Tang to ensure this became a spot within the spot, a space that would stay with you days after you left. The first time Ace saw it, finished, he cried. It was sweet. Sweet and Ace didn't usually mingle. But you had to appreciate the endearing quality that can make someone cry at a karaoke room designed to resemble a womb. Max capacity was 20. The pink crocodile skin couch looped against the wall as each end kissed the yellow from below lighting to create a smile that could only be seen from the ceiling. Berlin had the biggest screen. It took up the entire back wall. You needed a reservation to get inside Berlin. It was the one room you couldn't predict. Keep your head on a swivel.
This was the advice I gave Romeo
the one time he got to serve Berlin. Because you never know. I walked in expecting everything and nothing at once. What I got instead was One person, sitting in silence, holding the microphone, staring down towards nothing. She wore a black suit unbuttoned at the top with slender red-tinted sunglasses, looking like a Yakuza assassin. When it came time to expect everything and nothing at once, it never occurred to us that nothing was an actual option. "Can I get you something to drink?" Silence, followed by silence. "Are you okay, sweetie?" Christ, I thought. The Phi Guys had rubbed off on me. She was younger than me, I think, so it wasn't that bad to let one "okay, sweetie" slip. Still, it was a red flag. Maybe it was time to go back to school. Of course, that would require figuring out what to do with the rest of my life, and making way less money in the process. Two things I was not keen to run towards. I had seen a lot of things in my holy shit. It's been 3 years already, but a girl renting out a room by herself was not one of them. People had rented out a space with just one other person as a space to rehearse, but alone? With no recording equipment? Who were you singing for, sweetheart? "Ma'am, are you okay?" From sweetie to ma'am, a lifetime in between classifications. But she didn't budge. Her pitch black hair covered one side of her face as she held tightly onto that microphone, staring at the ground. Fucking Berlin, I thought. Never fails to disappoint. I went to my fail-safe when someone seemed a little off. "I'll go grab you some water." This was my code for, "Get you water and tell Romeo we've got a weirdo. I need you to witness this so we can talk about it at breakfast in a couple of hours." And then, just as my hand reached the exit door, she started to sing.
I miss you. I miss you. I miss you.
It was hypnotic. I had never heard of the song before, yet it felt so familiar. The simple synth beat simmering under her vocals. It froze me. I could feel the melody sliding around my skin and oozing through my pores.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. JD Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store and online. And now, the more you buy, the more you save on beds, bases, and more. Limited time. For JD Power 2025 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Check it out at the Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
New year, healthy goals. So what's for dinner tonight? Hatfield marinated pork tenderloins, of course. Packed with protein and oven ready in about 35 minutes. Hatfield makes fresh starts easy. To find retailers near you, visit simplyhatfield.com. Hatfield, better care, better pork.
What does it mean to live a brave life? It's about showing up, staying grounded, and having the physical and mental energy to handle the pace of life. And that is one of the reasons to love Ancient and Brave and their pure, potent, powerful supplements. Ancient and Brave has been an iconic wellness brand in the UK for years, and now they've launched in the US with incredible products that change the game, like their True Creatine and True Collagen. They come in gorgeous jars or on-the-go sachets for wherever you're off to. Ancient and Brave is a certified B Corp and members of 1% for the Planet. They offer tools that genuinely support and nourish your brave, backed by scientists and experts. Right now, Ancient and Brave is offering an exclusive offer. Head to ancientandbrave.com and use the code EMMA for 20% off your first order. Give your body a little daily bravery. It adds up. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
I couldn't even classify the genre. It felt completely new, as if I had discovered a new color. Something so magnetic I was able to tune out the rest of the world. She never opened her eyes. She never got up off that stool. She never even moved. She just sang. In this moment, there was nothing else. Time seemed to stop. When the song finally ended, I felt dizzy. I leaned against the couch and then quickly realized that wasn't enough support, so I had to sit down and collect myself. Not since Romeo bought weed from the magician for a corporate event had I been this out of my head. Stars were spun. Mandy? Romeo was now standing in the doorway, covered in glitter. As I did a 360 around the room, it was just us. The girl was gone. Had I dreamt that? Was I hallucinating? Typically, I didn't take psychedelics until after work. Ever since that time, me and Romeo took ecstasy and then ended up singing the entire Radiohead album, Kid A, on repeat for 3 straight hours. You're not going to believe the shit show in the San Diego room. I feel like I'm in a Terry Gilliam film. Oh my God, Mandy, I need a smoke. Ditto, I said. Ace allowed one smoke break. He sympathized, being a smoker himself. He missed smokers, he told us while smoking. It's the only time of the day where people shut the fuck up and listen. It's therapeutic, he would say in his Bronx-drenched accent, missing the first H so it sounded more like therapeutic. I felt off, lightheaded, in another world, or more accurately, another realm. Romeo was talking a mile a minute and I couldn't hear anything he said. All I heard was that song. It played on a loop in my head, over and over and over again. It drifted through the ocean of my mind, bouncing along the current, scratching against the inside of my eyes. That wasn't a dream. No, sorry, that happened. That definitely happened. That girl sang a song, which I had never heard before, and now I can't get the damn song out of my head. I couldn't even remember the lyrics, just the rhythm, the melody, the vibe, whatever it was. Essence. That's the word. I was wearing the essence of the song like a jacket. It hovered just above my skin, breathing onto me. Romeo finally noticed that I hadn't spoken. Mandy, you okay? Who rented Berlin tonight? I can check when we get inside. Why? The girl who rented it. I want to ask her something about her song. Who did she sing? That's what I had to find out. There was no name. The Berlin room from 10 to midnight was blank. That's odd, Romeo said. It was definitely booked. I took the call. I can ask Meredith. Can you let me know when you find out? Of course, my dear. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. But I wasn't. The colors felt brighter. The music felt louder. The drinks smelled stiffer. My senses felt magnified, as if I was wearing a stronger prescription to my surroundings. Everything felt closer. I began to feel claustrophobic. I went to Ace's office. It was closed. I knocked. 1 sec. That was code for currently getting an extra hand from an aspiring actress. A few moments later, it opened. Ace's shirt was 3 buttons open. What's up? Behind him was a woman.
Or more accurately, girl.
If she was 21, I'd be shocked. She wiped her nose and then zipped up her red boots. Can I take off early? I asked. Now? We're peaking. What's wrong? I feel sick, I told him. I was Ace's #1 starting pitcher. I never left early, never got sick. I was the closest thing he had to a rock. I knew what peaking meant. It meant lots of people were about to order lots of drinks and the money vault was wide open. You want something? I got something. I knew what that meant. Ace had all kinds of prescriptions, none of which belonged to him. He was a one-man pharmacy. No, I told him, seeing the sadness wash over his eyes. I just need to get some sleep, I think. All right, Mandy, but you owe me. Sure, I told him as he closed the door. The subway platform was packed. Weekends in the West Village. Normally, I would be on the subway during the come-down when everyone's various drugs were finally beginning to wear off. But it was still early. Well, early enough for New York City. This was the come-up. People were amped. They were on the way to something instead of on their way back from something. Yet, for the first time ever, I was able to tune it out. All of it. All I could hear was that song. I never woke up early. Early for me was noon. I looked at my clock. 9? 9? The number seemed foreign, like the Mayan symbol for go back to sleep. But I couldn't. I was wide awake. I checked my phone. 42 new messages? Half of them from Romeo. Half of them from booty calls. I had a pretty stacked deck of dicks. Sorry, not sorry. You up? What up? What's good? Where you at? What you doing? Rinse and repeat. My deck of dicks were interchangeable. Half of them didn't have actual names. Trainer Jake, Football Calvin, Actor Harrison. Real names would make them real people, and all I wanted was a non-selfish stiff one. Most of which skewed away from generous into selfish. Those numbers were quickly deleted. The good ones don't text you late at night. The song was still stuck in my head. I checked Romeo's texts, details of his night without me, for which he expressed deep longing, having to ride out the escapades of a Thursday night at work without me. Sorry I wasn't there, boo-boo, I text him, followed by, did you find out who rented the Berlin room? Text bubbles popped up, followed by, nobody. From 10 to midnight? I asked eagerly on the edge of my bed. Empty.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. JD Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store and online. And now, the more you buy, the more you save on beds, bases, and more. Limited time. For JD Power 2025 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
With a detailed agent directory you won't find anywhere else, Homes.com is the only place to find the in-depth info home shoppers want. Very in-depth info. Looking for a listing agent's contact info? We've got it. The agent with the most sales in your price range? Easy. Specialized agents with all the up-to-date info on your dream neighborhood? We'll know them. A Pisces who enjoys long walks on the beach? You've got other sites for that. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
Your wedding begins here. You've found your person. Now find your perfect place. Welcome to Marin County, where your love story meets its perfect setting. Exchange vows beneath ancient redwoods on a sun-kissed beach or overlooking the sparkling San Francisco Bay. Whether you're planning an intimate elopement or a grand affair, Marin offers the space and the spirit to make your wedding uniquely yours. Discover where forever begins at visitmarin.org and explore the weddings page for details.
Impossible, I thought. That angelic enigma had rented that room, sang a song. And now I could not get the damn song out of my goddamn head. Maybe I need coffee. I was up 3 hours too early. Coffee would help. I got out of bed, threw on my sexiest sweatpants, and then wrapped my relatively new Beats by Dre headphones around my head, blaring the one elixir to all ills, Taylor Swift. I started with her first album. The lyrics and nostalgia would combine to defeat this obnoxiously catchy song that continued to puncture my brain. I turned Taylor up. In the elevator, on the street, in the coffee shop, walking home, the song kept on playing. Not Taylor's song. None of Taylor's songs. Oh no. The song on repeat was the song from Berlin. The coffee only made the Berlin song louder. I was now even more attuned to it. I was actually singing the song more clearly in my head. The caffeine just made the words brighter. I did the only other thing I could think of to try and get the song out of my head. I hit up a booty call. Guitar Greg. Guitar Greg was generous, and yet, even in the midst of him playing air guitar between my legs with his symphonic lips, all I could think about was that song. I stopped him. He looked up at me. Sad, confused, puppy eyes. What's wrong? He asked. I had never stopped him before during one of our private concerts. It's not you, it's me. from the great George Costanza. Except it wasn't a lie this time. It actually was me. I put my sexy sweatpants back on and walked out of Guitar Greg's grungy apartment, leaving him and his mysterious leg tattoos alone. It didn't stop. All day, the song. Even during yoga, we got into our positions. I started to hum my mantra, the mantra that let me control my mind and take it to a place of pure peace. No mantra. All I heard was the song. A hand gently touched my shoulder. Back off, bitch. I held my nail file up to the delicate soul who had just touched my shoulder but was now recoiling in pure fear. It was the yoga instructor, Alana. She stared at me in horror. The whole class stared at me in horror. I was frozen. Why did I even have my nail file? I am so sorry, Alana. Oh my God. This is so funny, you guys. Have you ever had one of those days? They stared at me, terrified. There's this song. It keeps playing in my head on an endless loop. Have you ever had that before? When you just can't get a song out of your head and it starts to drive you mad? They all started to slowly slide their mats away towards the wall. Even my laugh was chaotic, like Ledger's Joker. Their fear intensified. Mandy? He turned quickly back to Alana. Yes? My left eye was twitching. Maybe you should get some air. This was the first time Alana's skin had not looked perfect. She had gone from radiant to translucent in the span of 3 spastic seconds. She gulped. I could hear her gulp. Her beautiful neck trembling. I could hear it tremble. I could hear everything. Yes, air. That sounds lovely. Both of my eyes were now twitching. I think I shall get some air. I'd never used the word shall before. That's not true. I used it once. Once when I was hanging out with Guitar Greg at a piano bar in Bushwick. I whispered into his ear, "Shall we retire to your quarters?" And then another time when I was hanging out with Alvin Astronaut at a dive bar in Bed-Stuy, I had whispered into his ear, "Shall we retire to your carriage?" My mid-20s were a rough time. Sexy, but rough, as all mid-20s are. My face looked like a slot machine as I briskly walked through the East Village. You know something's wrong when people notice you in the East Village. Or were they? It felt like they were. I couldn't concentrate. If you find relaxation, concentration will follow. Ace told me that once, after doing a line of cocaine off his desk while we watched Lady in the Water. Another M. Night, so bad it's a classic movie. I was frantically texting Romeo. "Do you want to go trick-or-treating?" I said. With the power of 1,000 thunders, he replied immediately. I took that as a yes and went to a studio apartment in Park Slope. The subway ride was almost nice. I was able to tune out all of the standard subway sights, sounds, and smells engulfed only by that song. It was like some sort of magical bubble protecting me from the obnoxious everyday fare of being a city dweller that I had grown so accustomed to over the past several years. I was in a trance. I missed Romeo's stop. Son of a bitch! I had to get off, back on, and then go up another stop. It was almost 2 p.m., which meant I had to be at work in T-minus 6 hours. Romeo had not slept. He was bouncing off the walls. He told me about how he had made out with a Phi guy after work at a rave, and the Phi guy had promised to take him to Exuma during Thanksgiving. He had no idea what the man's name was, but he kind of looked like Christian Bale with a wider nose. We took an edible and then watched The Happening, M. Night Shyamalan's masterpiece. And by masterpiece, I mean maybe the worst movie of the 21st century, which made it possibly the best movie of the 21st century. If my mind wasn't leaking out of my ears, I'd describe more of the plot, but while Romeo laughed, all I could do was sing. Finally, I snapped. "You took shrooms without me?" was Romeo's first question after I explained my current mental breakdown, pleading for a solution. "No," I insisted. "A girl rented that room, sang a song, and now I can't get the goddamn song out of my head and it's driving me crazy." I can't remember the last time I had a song stuck in my head. or anything stuck in my head. Romeo pondered, looking off wistfully. Isn't that sad? Our brains have become so... I cut off Romeo's monologue of sadness by clapping loudly. Romeo! I blurted while rubbing my eyes with the palms of my hands. He was scared. I had never shown any signs of aggression before, not to Romeo, not to anyone. This is about me. Can we focus, please? Romeo just nodded, terrified, like my cat when I vacuumed. Shit, I thought. I forgot to feed my cat. Oh my God, I forgot to feed my cat. Sprinkles, no. That wasn't its name. Sprockets. Sprockets? What the hell is Sprockets? Oh my God, I forgot my cat's name. You have a cat? Romeo asked. My brain was a big, juicy cherry, and that song was Pac-Man chomping away at my memory. I left Romeo's and called Meredith, asking who had booked Berlin last night. She hesitated and then finally answered with, nobody. Why? It was the way she said why that I knew she knew. Meredith, it's really important that you tell me who rented that room last night. I won't tell anyone that you told me. I just really need to find them. There was silence. It was obvious she was hiding something from me. But why? Eventually she responded. Okay, this is super weird, but this girl rented the room and then paid me in cash to make sure my name wasn't in the log. I asked her why, and she just gave me more cash. That's all, I swear. Why? Do you know her? My mind was now spinning out of control. Meredith, I won't tell anyone, but you have to give me that girl's name. Do you understand? You have to give me her name. Please. The hallway was blocked off with police tape. It was the 4th floor of a walk-up building in Astoria. Both apartments were opened, with additional police tape across both doorways. You've got to be shitting me, I thought. Can I help you? I turned. Standing there was a cop, well-dressed, his badge prominently displayed on his belt. He was probably late 40s, gruff. I could tell from his withered skin he had, or more likely still was, a heavy smoker. His coarse voice confirmed it. Oh, I was looking for someone. Who? Marisol. I don't know her last name. Why are you looking for her? She was at the club I worked for last night, and she forgot something. I rummaged through my purse and found the one thing that could potentially look like it was lost and needed to be found. I pulled out my COVID N95 mask, holding it up as proof. You personally returned her COVID mask? Some people are very attached to their masks. What is your name? He pulled out a tiny notepad and pen. As he opened his coat, I could see the gun in his holster. Amanda? Amanda what? Garrity? Can I see your ID, Amanda? I pulled it out and handed it over. He verified my name and then continued jotting down notes. Is Marisol okay? I asked, sweating profusely. My one acting class sophomore year of college was clearly not paying dividends in my current predicament. Miss Garrity, my name is Detective Mills. May we speak for a moment? He motioned towards one of the apartments that had been sealed off. I walked towards the doorway and stopped.
New year, healthy goals. So what's for dinner tonight? Hatfield marinated pork tenderloins, of course. Packed with protein and oven ready in about 35 minutes. Hatfield makes fresh starts easy. To find retailers near you, visit simplyhatfield.com. Hatfield, better care, better pork.
Get smoother, brighter skin instantly in one easy step. Dermalogica's daily microfoliant gives you the smooth, glowy skin you want without damaging your skin barrier. This gentle exfoliating powder activates with water to smooth out rough texture and brighten skin. It's powerful enough to deliver results, yet gentle enough to use every single day, even on sensitive skin. See the results for yourself. Visit Dermalogica.com and use code SMOOTH at cart for an exclusive free gift with $65 purchase.
Come to DSW for the shoes, stay for the fun. Because, let's be honest, if shoe shopping isn't fun, are you even doing it right? So go ahead, try something new. Try something different. Good different. Try something that feels like you. You know, the real you. And then definitely brag about it later. Because at DSW, you've got unlimited freedom to play. Find the shoes that get you at prices that get your budget. at DSW stores or at DSW.com. Let us surprise you.
Is this a crime scene? You wanted to know what happened to Marisol? Mills pointed to the floor covered in dry blood, multiple outlines of bodies interlocking across the tiny living room. So do we, he said. Come on, it's dry on the other side. I should not be here. He should not be talking to me here. None of this felt right or legal, and yet I was turned on? Have a seat, Mrs. Garrity. We sat at the tiny dining table next to the tiny window that looked across the tiny alleyway space into the next building, which served as a duplicate to this one. Everything on this street felt repetitive, excluding the murder scene in apartment 4B. That stood out. I could smell the dried blood. It kind of smelled like my pumpkin latte. If there is anything you want to tell me about your relationship with Marisol, now would be the time, Miss Garrity. We want the same thing, to find out what happened to her. So, is there anything you want to tell me? I paused. I was trying to relax, but my mind was racing against my heart. Why was I so nervous? I had nothing to hide. I should be happy that I'm not crazy. My circumstance was crazy, but I was clearly in the midst of something crazy. Calm down, bitch. This was my mantra. I was trying to hum it, but the goddamn song just smacked it across the face. I was on my third coffee of the day. That didn't help my nerves. My feet couldn't stop tapping, and I was clenching my back teeth like a lunatic. Mills must be noticing. How could he not?
Maybe if I showed some cleavage? I leaned forward, cleavage in full view.
I can't get her song out of my head. I'm sorry, he said, not noticing Mr. and Mrs. Cleavage. That's it. That's our whole relationship. We had never met before. She came into the karaoke club I work at. She rented a room to herself. She sang a song. I heard it. And now I can't get her song out of my head. Crazy, right? So I wanted to talk to her. I don't know why. Well, I do know why, because of the song. How could a song be so stuck in your head it makes you mad? My coffee exploded. Apparently, I was so tense, I had squeezed it like a detonator. I was now covered in espresso, and Mills was staring at me, licking his chops. I had gone from witness to suspect in the span of one homicidal squeeze. We locked eyes, and I said the one thing I could think to say. Have you seen The Wire? Great show. Miss Garrity, would you mind coming with me to the station to talk further? The forensics team will be here soon, and they're going to need the whole space. He stood up. He seemed nervous. To the station? My teeth were basically cackling, fingernails digging into the love seat. Do I need a lawyer? You are well within your right to have an attorney present, but that may lead me to think you have something to hide. Do you have something to hide, Miss Garrity? I stood up and started to walk toward him as he loosely sidestepped, making way for me to approach the front door. As we were about to leave, I stopped and turned. Whose blood is that? I hadn't even asked any details about the crime scene that I was standing in, with my sexy sweatpants and sticky former coffee-carrying hands. Mills stared at me anxiously. He paused. I think it would be better if we spoke at the station, he said, while pushing his back against the front door. We can stop for another coffee along the way if you want. Have you eaten lunch? He was buttering me up. I was a fresh bagel out of the toaster. Had I eaten today? No. Why wasn't I hungry? It was almost 4 o'clock. This was usually when I ate dinner before work. When was the last time I ate? My mind was racing again. Anything to not have to think about. And then it came flooding back. Piece of shit song. You no good son of a Miss Garrity, are you okay? You can't tell me who died? Can you tell me anything? Miss Garrity, please calm down. You don't hear that? You don't hear that? Hear what? That song! You don't hear it? I was pacing around the room with my hands scratching against my temples. My brain felt like nails on a chalkboard. clawing against the inside of my eyeballs. The song was becoming louder, quicker, more fragmented. There were now multiple voices singing at the same time, forming a new voice. It was angry, bitter. The voice was screaming. It bounced around the cave of my mind and started to echo in a demonic shriek. Miss Garrity, Amanda, please, I'm not going to ask you again. Make it stop. What? Make what stop? Make it stop! I turned and smashed my head into the wall. Amanda! I smashed my head into the wall again, harder. The cheap lining of the wall was already cracked. I reared back and smashed my face into the wall. My forehead and nose were now racing to see which stream of blood could hit my lips first. They tied. Amanda, stop! He ran over but didn't make it in time to catch my body from falling backwards onto the cold, ragged yellow rug as my head bounced against the floor. Everything went black. The Price is Right. That was the first thing I saw when my eyes slowly fluttered open. The spinning wheel. I couldn't hear what the crowd was shouting, but when my focus finally came back, I could see that the item in question was a tractor. What a way to be welcomed back into consciousness. The fluorescent lights above me felt like daggers poking my iris. I was in bed. A hospital bed. My face felt scrunched. I could only breathe out my left nostril. I could hear my stilted breathing. Oh my God! I heard to my left, quickly followed by an exhausted Romeo tending to my side. You're awake? Mandy, oh my God, are you okay? Romeo was tearing up. I hadn't seen him tear up since we saw Beau is Afraid starring Joaquin Phoenix. The edible he took kicked in exactly when Beau had a dream about his future. Romy's face was like a log fume. How do I look? Oh, darling, you look fabulous. Only Romeo can make me feel pretty at my ugliest. It's a good thing we made the cards, he exclaimed while flashing it. The cards in question were business cards that read, quote, if found too fucked up, call this number with a cartoon face of Romeo and his cell phone number. We had made them after doing coke on St. Paddy's Day. We spent 6 hours designing them. They were a delightful way to kill some time, knowing full well they would never actually have to be used. Until right now. Don't make me laugh, I said through my charred vocal cords. Honey, that's impossible. You know that. I'm a laugh riot. Do you want something? Water? Massage? I saw a strapping young Italian on the 4th floor who I can inquire about. That would be... I had to pause. Lovely. Okay, maybe don't talk. Good rule just in general. Let me go find your nurse. I'll be right back. Where's the cop? The cop? Where is he? Mandy, I don't know what you mean. I was with a cop at her apartment. The girl who sang that song. That's where... Oh, sweetheart. How good are those drugs they got you on? He whispered, can you steal me 1 or 20? I'm asking for a friend. That friend is me, the friend. Moi. Who brought me here? I did. You passed out in the Berlin room last night. We tried to wake you up, but you didn't respond. So Ace freaked out and had me take you to the ER. What did you take? The doctors were asking me, and I plead the fifth. I could have... I don't understand. My face? Your face will be hotter than ever. They just had to stitch you up a bit from the fall. The fall? Get some rest, Mandy. Let me go find your nurse. Rest. You're fine now. Romeo walked out and my eyes drifted back to The Price is Right. This older Cornhusker on screen was ecstatic. He had a big boner for this tractor. So much grass to cut. What a winner. I sat up in my bed. I could see now that I was sharing a room with someone. There was a curtain dividing us. My back hurt. It was like a nail needling into my spine. Moving up helped, kind of. I had to piss, badly. I swung my legs around and off the bed. I exhaled a mountain of air. Facing the entryway, I slid off the bed onto my feet, quickly realizing my legs were not quite ready for the weight of my full body. So I clung behind me to the bed railing and then waited for the battle of pins and needles to conclude. I walked to the bathroom. Locked. I knocked. Hello? 1 minute. The the elderly voice responded. She sounded nice. God forbid I made this poor, sweet old woman rush her business. I turned and could see that nearby bed was vacant. There had to be another bathroom nearby. I walked out of the room and into the hallway. It was quiet. Well, quieter than you would think a hospital would be. It must have been late. I started down the hall, glancing into each room that I passed by. Most of the rooms were pitch black. Occasionally one would have a light on, but for the most part, I felt a sense of calm. Oh shit. The song was out of my head. That's why I felt so good. My mind could actually just be my mind. I could have thoughts, feelings, anything that was not that goddamn song. It was back. Soft at first. On a simmer. Slowly, the volume knob was being twisted up. The decibels were rising as the vocals became more clear. I could hear the words again, crystal clear. My throat clogged up. I felt nauseous. My blood boiled. I closed my eyes, rubbed the sides of my hair, leaning against the wall. I couldn't breathe. My feet became numb. I can't take it anymore. I can't. Make it go away. Make it go away. Make it go. I know you. The voice. I knew that voice. I turned. The room with the light on? It belonged to Phi Guy number 5. He was sitting upright in my bed with an IV attached to his arm. He seemed fine, perfectly fine, as if this was not his first rodeo. Par for the late night course. He stared at me, smiling. Damn, girl, even in hospital scrubs, you look good enough to eat. I paused. He kept staring. Are you my nurse? He winked and then laughed. He had a whole room to himself. It was big. I could use a scrub, he said, his smirk magnifying. I walked up to his entryway and turned off the light. His smile went away. He got stiff. Very stiff. I slowly shut the door behind me and walked up right to him. He shrunk as I grew. We locked eyes. I leaned in and whispered, "Do you want to hear a song?"
You're a pro at running your life, at committing to your workout, at showing up every day. At Bombas, we're pros too. Pros at making socks. Our sport assortment has specialized socks for whatever sport you're committed to. Running, hiking, golf, Pilates, and so much more. Made with sweat-wicking yarns, blister-fighting details, and targeted arch support. Bombas Sport is pro-level socks from the pros of socks. For another pro, you. Go to bombas.com/audio and use code audio for 20% off your first purchase. That's bombas.com and use code audio.
The holidays are behind us and school routines are back. Now is the time to help your kids start the new semester strong. IXL helps students refresh what they learned in the fall, so they head into the new year feeling confident and prepared. With new units and new goals, IXL is the simplest way to build better habits and stay on top of lessons without the stress. As teachers dive into new material, kids can practice those exact same skills at home to make sure the lessons really stick. IXL is an award-winning platform covering math, language arts, science, and social studies for pre-K through 12th grade. It's personalized, interactive, and actually fun. Keep your kids motivated for the second half of the year at IXL.com. Don't miss out. 1 in 4 students in the U.S. are learning with IXL. IXL is used in 96 of the top 100 school districts in the U.S. Make an impact on your child's learning. Get IXL now. And listeners can get an exclusive 20% off IXL membership when they sign up today at IXLlearning.com/audio. Visit IXLlearning.com/audio to get the most effective learning program out there at the best price.
Making plans with asthma can be awful. It always goes from, that sounds fun, to, in this weather, what if my asthma acts up? I got tired of saying no. so my doctor suggested Dupixent. I'm Rachel, and I'm sponsored by Regeneron in Santa Fe to share my story with real patients like me.
Dupixent, dupilumab, is an add-on prescription maintenance treatment for adults and children 6 years and up with moderate to severe eosinophilic or oral steroid-dependent asthma that's not controlled with current asthma medicines. Dupixent is not for sudden breathing problems.
Dupixent helps people breathe better in as little as 2 weeks. And now I don't even think twice about saying yes to plans more, rain or shine.
Severe allergic reactions, including skin reactions, can occur. Get help right away for face, mouth, tongue, or throat swelling, wheezing, or trouble breathing. Tell your doctor right away of signs of inflamed blood vessels like rash, chest pain, worsening shortness of breath, brown or dark-colored urine, tingling or numbness in limbs. Tell your doctor of new or worsening skin symptoms, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop other treatments without talking to your doctor.
Do more with less asthma. Ask your asthma specialist about Dupixent by name. Visit Dupixent.com or call 1-844-DUPIXENT.